friends. So today I netdecked Azax, a person with lifetime most hours powered into all 5 O's get posted? Since when? That said, we netdecked Azax, who has probably the most hours powered into Neoform. I guess I'm supposed to keep my hand on the back of my cantrips. Might take a while. Kanigi, is Brute Scale combo bad or are you bad? Maybe it's both. Can I just play Gemstone Mine and Preordain? It's only gonna punish me if I'm gonna spend... It's only punishing if I want to spend Gemstone Mine mana 4 times. So it's probably fine. Although there is a chance I will. But it saves me 3 life. 2 life? 2 life, really. Let's keep the Rider, so that does save me 2 mana, and I will just rely on this Genesis. Maybe I should have kept the other Genesis on top. Maybe that's fine to cast 2 Genesis this game. What are the consigns for? You need to consign your pacts. Holy shit, I'm good at this game. You need to consign your pacts so that you don't die to your pact triggers. If you pact for Rider, Neoform, get Griselbrand, draw a bunch, you need to draw a consign to save yourself. How about... Neoform the Rider and put Ghalta into play? Or is it just Ureni and kill my opponent in 2 combats? I could possibly die to Flage gaining life. But do I sacrifice Ghalta to my Disciple of Freyalise? I think so. Did we hit? We did hit, yes. PogChamp. I even hit Pact, so we can Pact for Xenagos. We can summon a crew of monsters, including another Ghalta. Deal 2 damage to Guide of Souls. Haste the Xenagos became a creature. As long as your devotion to red and green, in brackets, 17. 17. That's so funny to have 17 devotion. Maybe it's not that funny, but it seems funny to me. So I was asked by... Whoa, Mystical Dispute? I guess that's for the mirror. That's crazy. Pact of Negation seems bad. Guess I'll bring what? Into the Flood Maw? To beat Containment Priest sometimes. And what else? Island? Off Consign? Endurance? Maybe just keep 1 Pact or like have the Boseiju. Let's roll with the Boseiju. This hand would be excellent if I had a Ghalta trigger on the stack. Persisting from the previous game, but unfortunately that is not how MTG works, so I have to mulligan. Did I Arena open this weekend? Yeah, I did. Twice, and then probably put back Consign, as it is not a green card. I Arena opened twice, and then I decided not to waste any more games because I wasn't winning anything. I think I Hallowed Fountain. Do I Hallowed Fountain or do I Breeding Pool with Eldritch Evolution? I think Hallowed Fountain still. If I draw Call, I want to be able to cast it. Maybe this was wrong and maybe I was supposed to keep both pacts so that my Ghalta hits for 26. But then I can join Neoform next turn. Or land number 3, which I also need. While playing the same game. I drew Meticulous Archive, so unfortunately I have to play Planar Genesis. And idly find a land. Tapped. Tapped. So yeah, keeping a second pact means that my Ghalta I can just Evo for Ghalta and fetch Mr. Xenagos, instantly hitting my opponent for thousands of damage. Neoform. So what now? Opponent might have a response to the pact. Not like I can do anything about it. They attack me for 3, 4, 5, 6. Next turn. Easily could be 8. So if I get Orim's Chanted, I will die. Like, yeah, that's simple. Dobra, no, wykurwistym jest graczem. Skillowym. But I guess I would get Atraxa. If I were allowed to, get a monster, which... Chant is a funny card. You know what? I guess since there is Orim's Chant to beat, I'll just play Pact of Negation on the play twice. Just not sideboarding against energy. But there is actually a role for Pact of Negation. Well, this is maybe a bit extreme. I need to find both Rider and then 2 green cards. Well, that's not it. This is alright though. Could I possibly Gemstone Mine? I think in this hand it is unwise. I would fetch an island if I had it, but I'll fetch a breeding pool. Both of those go to the bottom, they are not a Neoform. Do I think the main board Pacts of Negotiation are better than the 4th copy of Preordain and Eladamri's Call? Probably. The Pacts do offer things that you don't otherwise have. This is a green card, so I think I should Preordain and Hedge Maze. If I go Gemstone Mine, Genesis, and I find a Neoform, I don't even have enough green cards. So I think converting Preordain seems most important. Neoform is good, Boseiju unnecessary. Well, let's keep the pact so I can beat Orim's Chant. And like in general seems good to have because I'll be getting a Griselbrand at 16 life. Just play the Gemstone Mine. Is there any reason not to play it? Maybe technically. I mean, this is a 4/4, so it's not necessarily trivial to remove for my opponent, but it's possible. I draw up to 14 for the Consign, which I have 3 copies of. Second Orim's Chant will be annoying. Well, I would just lose to it. But I'm fine. If my opponent drew literally 2 Orim's Chant, then that's fine. No Chant. Or rather, no Consign. So I'll be dying to burn. 2 more burn if I draw now, but I still have to draw now because that gives me more outs to find the Consign. Which I didn't. So I guess we just died to the Pact. Truly unfortunate. Facts, I am right. Oh, we can Planar for... That's true. Holy shit, almost blew it. Chat, you are always vigilant. That's the true purpose to playing the Planar Genesis. I guess I don't need a second one. And before they have Goblin Bombardment anyway. Well, then I'll lose, that's fine. Or Flash. Or Static Prison. Plays Goblin Bombardment. No i kurwa jeszcze mnie zaatakuje, nie? Dobra, dobra. No to chuj, to zablokuję i co zrobisz? A? Po First Strike'u, żeby dostać jeszcze jedno życie, wtedy cię strzelę bombardmentem. A, dobra, kurwa. Wow, bro, wasted 1 life point? You are horrible at the game. Let's see if we would have found the Consign. I would have missed and died, so... Aha! Exact 5th card. So this was interesting, because... Let's maybe walk back and see what were the odds of hitting the Consign. I guess we really wanted to hit Consign in top 7 to avoid dying like this. Alright, at least I draw Neoform Rider now. HS Bloom, thank you very much for the sub. Rashtor says, I think the normal Neoform deck is better. The win con seems so brittle and way more room for opponents to interact. What's a normal Neoform deck? Yeah, you'd have to clarify that. We can tell ourselves it would have died to bombardment plus 1 drop. Yeah. I probably don't do that. With 1 green card we win on turn 2, even without drawing anything. This is a turn to win. Rider, pitch, Neoform, Ghalta, Summon, Xenagos. So I just have not to draw Xenagos now. So let's keep Planar Genesis as that's not Xenagos. And opponent's on 23. Not Surveillance, yeah. Well, I mean, fetching a Surveillance doesn't increase the chance that I will draw Xenagos. You can just use Ghalta ability to put Xenagos on the battlefield. That's exactly what I'm doing, my friend. It's good that my opponent doesn't have a green mana available, because then they would have just Haywire Mighted my Xenagos. So no problem if you draw it. Oh, that's true, yeah. Yeah, so drawing Xenagos is actually not an issue, because like it's supposed to be in my hand. It doesn't have to be in the deck, so I got it backwards and confused myself, but it was actually fine all the time, the entire time. Yeah, it was the Ghalta, not Xenagos. I could not draw Ghalta number 3, so I switched them around in my mind. The 2-color one with Sorin and Amber. The 3-color one seems more consistent, but in general is slower. I played the 2-color one in an RCQ. So a true fact is that Neoform has had 10,000 results lately, with the many newish builds, almost all of them abandoning the Shawl draw your deck win con in favor of more consistency cantrips, or consistency through Birthing Ritual. But certainly the Consign, missing on Consign comes up, and then you feel really stupid. A month ago people were playing it with Shawl and Wish. Well, so like a month ago people weren't really playing it much, right? It just didn't exist, and now it exists. That's more so my point, that of course it could also be that there is just interest in Neobrand because there is interest in Neobrand, but there is more of it the past few... How do we sideboard? Kurwa, no nie wiem, no. It's in Affinity deck? It's not even... No, the Force of Vigor is not even necessarily great, so... I think I'll just frankly resubmit, but should switch Ureni for Trastodon. Perhaps. Nice hand. Just trying to win. That said, as the Azax version reverts... Ooh, try one memory. They can replay Needle, that's fine. Probably could Surveil for a green card, but I can also Surveil with a Meticulous Archive, and then I still have the option of consigning if my opponent plays something actually problematic. So it is not necessarily clear to me why as the Azax version circles back to being more combo, or rather more like old Neoform. So I guess I have to fetch the Meticulous Archive anyways, because if they name it fetch, it's really bad. So I'm not fully sure why isn't there a few Shawls in the deck, because that could go a long way. So I failed on drawing a green card, which means I'll just Hedge Maze for a green card. Giordano. I could also just try to get Griselbrand into play, and maybe that's... No, I mean the Griselbrand is needled, of course, I can't. I don't want that. That Urza? No, Kappa. Sure. Oh, not holding Rebuke. Okay. Well, might as well counter it, right? Is that the case? How big is this? Say 5/5, so I need 26, that's fine. I guess if I counter this, then they can draw Metallic Rebuke. Then I just simply draw a green card, and then I kill. That is a green card. We have became a green card holder officially. Dispatch could actually win the opponent the game, or even a simple unsummon, but Canister wins the match nonetheless. I think we have to move this. Alright, this is awesome. But I might have lost the match after all. I think I just got phoned on Neoform later. Yeah, game free. Game free. Sure, you get to exile my Disciple of Freyalise. If I draw it, it's a green card, like, that's fine. I probably should have played a fetch and played a breeding. I played a Hedge Maze end of turn to actually surveil to try to find a real rider. Right. Oh, we drew a pact, so that's actually game. I was about to whip up the calculator again and just see what are the odds of actually fizzling. I would have 49 cards in my deck. So finding a consign in 14 cards, that's 65%, so it's unfair to lose the game on the spot. But thankfully we don't need to. A link to the calculator. It is pretty funny that my deck doesn't even play for Eladamri's call. Not even going for the full 12 plus 12. The Who Armenia Castle in the Sky. Added Ukraine is not Russia. Pack of Putin. Fire emoji. Sounds good. Good song request. So against Boros Energy, I will not sideboard again. Because we might need to beat Orim's Chant. How often do you suck a creature with Disciple? It happens with Ghalta. I would say occasionally. You saw Bobber for the second time this past weekend and you played Titan and you are what Canister wants. Sure. I'll keep Preordain for an evolution. I mean, it's always shaky to keep Preordain for evolution, but... Well, that's a lot of riders. What if I keep the rider anyways and then just try to surveil into an evolution? Then I can perform a pactless summoning of a monster. Preordain certainly clashes a bit with Surveillance. Well, Surveil seems better than Eladamri's Calling. Goblin Bombardment. Am I just dead? 1, 2, 3. They have City's Blessing, so I guess I'm just dead, right? You can't call either way on their turn. That's why I passed with a Surveillant, because I decided not to call. But I will take 10,000 damage right now on turn 3. It's kind of crazy that the mid-range deck does this. Like, what the heck, chat? I just can't. Boros energy. Show the screenshot to Bamzing. Hating on Goblin Bombardment. Oh, it only wins me games which I would have already won. Anyways, cool. Sure, buddy. You sure would. No doubt. Bamzing has been saying play 4 Bombardment, you thought? Maybe since he was converted in the Kani Discord. But not before that. But yeah, like, actually playing with the Consign thing, I'm not really a fan because you just... I think we have to mulligan. You just don't hit a lot. So, I don't know what to think anymore about neoforming. Like, if I were to play Consigns, don't I really prefer to play just 2 Consigns and then Shawls to get to them? Because maybe you can up the deck's consistency by running just a few Shawls, but not running the Autochthon Worm. Or maybe just one. And once you go the Pact Consign route, no birthing ritual, it is not clear why is there an Atraxa in your deck. Or Ureni. So this is a multi-layered puzzle where everything interlocks with everything else and it's really hard to tell. I'll put Consign on the bottom, I need an evolution. Also, who's to say that Neoform has to be 60 cards? Maybe you can just run more tutor targets by running more cards in it. Fetch a forest in response. But if the deck is 61, how will you ever draw your Shawl? You make a lot of great points, chat. So I can fetch a forest. I don't need to call this game. We found an Eldritch Evolution, which means that holy shit, chat, I just thought of a way. It's probably a really bad way. I thought of a way to beat Pact costs. It's actually really bad now that I thought about it for 5 extra seconds. Flare of Cultivation. So you draw your deck, and then you Flare of Cultivation your riders to put lands into play so you can pay for a pact. No, you need to play more forests for that. Yeah, well, that's a bit bad. What about 4 copies of Dryad Arbor to put them all into play with Ghalta? Yeah, that's not great either. Kurwa, no, Consign to memory, no! The one card I wasn't allowed to draw here. No nie, no naprawdę. Grazer. Just Ghalta Grazers into play. But we have to pass now. Because the only way to play Evolution, I just don't have enough cards for the Rider. I guess we can consign Ocelot Sprites. Well, this is a Ragavan. I guess we can consign the Ragavan trigger. Then I can hit them with the Ghalta kill next turn. Bombardment would be troublesome. You could play Grazer and Amulet of Vigor and potentially Primeval Titan too. Holy shit. I mean, I don't die to bombardment, do I? Consign your Ragavan trigger, no treasure for you. They put 2 cards. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage, right? So the 6 damage is alright. Do. No nie! Orem's hacking chant. So they probably had it last turn anyways. Well, so we can play Disciple of Freyalise as a land, and then I just need to draw 2 lands to Eldritch Evolution for a Rider. Is this supposed to be a keep? We have a Pact of Negation to protect as well. I might be supposed to just mulligan. Let's mulligan. Let's keep. Seems like a slightly better version of the previous hand, so I guess I don't mind having mulliganed. Oh, because great or clunky. Think there is any way to make opening hands better while insulating you from Wrath. Well, that's a big issue with those affinity type decks. It's really hard to insulate yourself from Wrath out of control decks. Kind of naturally, there's just no great way. Because the decks that play Wrath are just Misty Rainforest, confidently named, nice. The control decks that play Wrath, you just kinda can't protect from it easily. And the deck just puts a lot of junk into play. That's not actually all that meaningful. The Mox Opals, the Trinkets, the Clue tokens, they all just kind of don't really do that much, so... It seems like we are playing against the same deck for the second time. Or, I don't know if it was playing Thought Monitor, but I guess this is the fabled affinity. Just always have the Rebuke, yeah, that's the hope. But then also hope that the opponent doesn't have free mana to pay for the Wrath, which sometimes might just be a 2 mana card. Every single time they played a Mox, I was clenching for them not to hold up a rebuke, and they never did actually, so I'm glad. Now they also are not holding up Ether Spellbomb, which is very convenient for me as well. That said, they have 25 total, -1 from Tamio, so we have exact lethal if we take Neoform. Evolution wouldn't deal enough damage. Also, if they kept up Ether Spellbomb, then I also wouldn't be able to deal damage. Tamio triggers first. Active player, non-active player. No, because Xenagos is beginning of combat, right? So it first becomes a 26 and then it gets -1. Exact lethal. It does seem valuable to have the Xenagos angle in the deck. But holy shit, the Consign angle is so bad, I think. Dumping Sphere carries that deck post-board. My opponent's deck? Holy shit, in that case I'll bring Force of Vigor. Mystical Dispute seems a bit bad. Trying to punch through counters. Maybe I want the third Pact. And I'll need to cut Planar Genesis. Ureni maybe. Maybe I want Terastodon. Non-creature permanents. Seems pretty bad. Get Endurance in there? Why? Alright, we have Summoner's Pact for Xenagos. Allosaurus Rider. Eldritch Evolution and Pact to Protect. So this hand is pretty ideal, frankly. Second Rider, which is the extra green card that I needed. Now I just need an extra land, which I guess I can Pact for in a pinch. That's also possible. Hedge Maze seems better if I draw Hallowed Fountain. That's fine actually. It means I can Pact for the Disciple of Freyalise, so that's actually perfectly alright. Even though at first it looked a bit goofy to flip Xenagos. Also, I think that the Pact Reliance for sure makes the deck worse against Boros energy. I think the Birthing Ritual angle is actually way better against Boros. which with 40% of the modern meta being Boros, it kind of makes sense to plan for Boros. Because Birthing Ritual is actually like a somewhat nice way to work your way around Orim's Chant. Your testing also supports that, yeah. I'm glad we could reach a conclusion. Unsure if you want Wishes or Preordain Planar in the ritual build. Bro, I have no idea either. So let's see if that's lethal for sure. I put in a Ghalta, and it's gonna be 24 damage, and my opponent has a 3 toughness blocker, so they have 23 total. So I played that one challenge with Wishes, and Nonya replicated. Dupa. So I guess we died to the Pact because I pacted for a land. How many Pact devs are this? Is this? Like 2 separate Pact devs already. This league. Yeah. You qualified for your local modern LCQ. Why do you guys have to qualify for RCQs? That's a brutal system. Did not fetch Spellbomb, probably boarded out, but I wouldn't board out Spellbomb. You qualified for Antwerp, congrats. Qualifying for your local LCQ. Good stuff. Brings lots of joy. Do we know format of Antwerp? I do hope it's modern. So I can play Neoform, Birthing Ritual version, expecting 40% Boros energy. How many years is it gonna take? Like, how many... In what year will Boros energy stop being the dominating force in modern? If ever. Like, at some point, right, it will. But is it gonna be 40% Boros energy in 2027? MH4, I guess, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess the question wasn't even that tricky. I guess Merktide. What were the MH2 decks now? Because I already am forgetting stuff. I'm hitting 30 years old in 3 days, chat, and my memory is not as fresh as it used to be. Blue-red Merktide, yeah. Rakdos Scam, but that was a thing only... It took a while for Scam to become a deck. I don't remember if it needed any cards that were newer than MH2. Amulet, of course. Cascade in general is MH2. Oh yeah, they printed the Cascade person. Shardless Agent, right? Saga, which made Amulet good again. Maynard was on Ephemerate Grief pretty quickly. So lots of people were on Ephemerate Grief, and that deck sucked. It lacked the aggressive element. It like had good draws. Oh, you draw Rider, right? It had good draws when it went Ephemerate Grief into Stoneforge Mystic into Caldra, but the pressure wasn't really the same as the one that you later got from the Rakdos deck. Yeah, if I draw a Rider, I need to... Holy shit, I don't know, like, he is top 8 challenges, Azax, with this build, but honestly, it's been feeling so shit to draw those consigns and miss on green cards and die to pacts all the time. And Preordain when I have a perfectly fine Survel land fetch land lined up. So I don't quite understand what's happening here. Seems like this deck should play Once Upon a Time. That is banned. Should I counter a Mox Opal? Like, let's say I will. No, but I need to surveil. No Emery is good. Repudiate as a green consign. Sure, buddy. Repudiate this. Oh, Xenagos, good draw. Holding up for D-Sphere is nice. You really seem to respect D-Sphere, Daddy Cook 7. We also have Boseiju for D-Sphere and it's nice. Tamiyayo resolves. Dinosaur. Okay, we draw Summer's Pact. We shouldn't have played a Boseiju, maybe even. I don't know. We're getting Griselbrand here. Dinosaur. Oh, I get it, because we're playing Neoform. No dawaj tam. Counterspell jakiegoś. We already have Consign, so we are not going to lose to Pacts. That's convenient. Now we pop off. I will draw 14 cards, so you could call that popping off. Oh. What color sleeves will you use when playing this deck in paper? Green. Mostly because I have a pack of green sleeves left unopened. Yes, I meant that. The dove and do not eat. Thank you very much for clarifying. Of course I meant that. Any amulet in the docket? Probably not today. An interesting attack. So that will be my third pack. That means that I have to resolve all of my consign to memories. Which is technically fine. Or we could Boseiju, yeah, for 1 mana, kill a Mishra's Bubble. It's just gonna tap my Griselbrand then. Hey, why is there a Dispatch in my opponent's deck? I guess, like, because they died to Ghalta attacking. It might be out of fetchables with 1 Hallowed Fountain in play. That would be fucked up. Clue or Mishra's Bubble? I guess Clue. It's Adro. Thank you very much for your Prime sub. Adro. GG says opponent and wins the match. So I had 2 pacts coming onto the stack. My next unkeep. Probably should mulligan for lands. Hi. 4, 2, 9. Let's keep and put back a breeding pool with the intention of surveilling turn 1. Black Cliff Cliffs, bump in the night. Or a steel cutter. Neoform. That's awesome. Scrap the consigns and just play Angel's Grace. Well, you could, but it's kind of the same. Although it introduces the extra problem of needing to have white mana, which is gonna be slightly less consistent than just needing to have only blue mana, right? Blue mana you're kind of guaranteed to have, but white mana you're just very likely to have. Or you need to build to have it more often. Hello Canister, is this deck good? Am I safe unsleeving my Neoform and Griselbrands? Wait, so you keep your cards in sleeves and you unsleeve them when it's time to play? Are you sane? I guess they can survive if they put 4 toughness in front of my Ghalta. Has to be 5 toughness if they also crack the fetch. Alright. Hi Canister, hi Tery29. Yeah. Yeah, what? Do you think they play Lava Spike on top of Bolt Wave or just Bolt Wave? Island seems nice to fetch. Guess a burn deck. And then my sideboard is useless. I guess Terastodon is gonna enter the deck. Maybe I should have a Pact. I think they play everything there is to play. Somehow I don't remember getting hit by... Nice hand. We have the Pact and the Evolution. I mean, it's almost a keep, I guess, but not quite. Oh, this is way better. Somehow I don't remember getting Lava Spiked specifically lately. Why did I put back an island instead of Consign? Well, why? Oh, I blanked. When I was thinking of Lava Spikes, I just made a grievous mistake. Those burns still play the S Hammond at deals 5 when you play things for free. I don't think so, no. Oh, here comes Lava Spike. So they do actually play it. They were on Reign of Gore for a bit when Ketchamos was popular. But do you mean they as in Tery29 or do you mean they as in Bern? Bern gamers. Oh. I free tour and I lost to 2 Boros energies upon thinking that my variant is weaker versus Boros energy, which makes sense. Now